Welcome back, everyone. We have Sjoerd and Jeroen on the podcast from Plogging Utrecht. And first, welcome.
Thank you
for being here. Plogging, it's kind of like self-explanatory what it is. But if you would describe your project/running crew, because it's not only Plogging Utrecht, but it's plugging in a very special way.
Yeah, because we go outside like twice a month to just go running with people and with a group of friends or with just random people who found us on wherever they found us. And we go running for about 4 kilometers and picking up trash along the way. So that's basically what we do. And we aim to clean up the city and have fun and work out at the same time.
Yeah,
that's
all free go. Or like you have like in the supermarket 2 for 1. Like you have 3 for 1: running, exercising, having fun, and cleaning the city.
Yeah, that's basically what we do.
Yeah, and create awareness, right? That's also a big aim for us to do.
And to have people see us. That's why we wear this nice green color.
Yeah.
So people see us outside running, and they're like, "Who are those guys with the trash bags running around picking up our litter?"
Yeah.
No.
And how did it come from? Like, like maybe you can also talk a little bit about yourself. Like, how did this awareness, this reason of like starting this group, like how did it start? Like, are you very sustainable, vegan? I don't know. Tell me.
We are so sustainable. No, we are quite sustainable, I think. But, it started in August 2018. I think I did plugging for the first time, and it was like, okay, I like running. I like to be sporty. I like to be outside, but every time I saw a lot of waste everywhere. Mm-hmm. So especially when you run into the city, when you walk outside, you see trash everywhere around you. And I thought, okay, this is so bad because it ends up in nature. It ends up in all places where you don't want to have that waste. So I thought, okay, why not combine those two? But I thought, okay, how would I do that? And right now you see a lot of people walking outside, right, with the bin bags and grab some waste. But back then it felt for me also quite weird to start with plugging. So I started running and pick up trash, and I was looking around like, is somebody watching me?
Yeah.
And then I found out when we do it together or with some friends, it doesn't feel weird anymore.
Yeah.
Because, and actually it's quite strange that you feel weird about it because you do such a good thing for the environment. So, but we started running with the group, and actually it started to be fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun because people are running. It feels like, sometimes it felt like a trophy for somebody to grab a can of Red Bull, right?
Yeah.
And that is, then it started to be fun, and then we started to do it more and more.
Yeah.
Like a game, actually.
Yeah, like a competition.
We make it into a competition as well. So at the end, you weigh your bag of trash, your bin bag, and then you're like, oh, yes, I did 3 kilograms today. Or you're like, oh, only 1. And then you go again 2 weeks after. You try to compete with others.
Yeah.
So you have different PRs. It's kilograms of...
I think a few weeks ago we got the heaviest bag we ever had.
All right.
During a plugging. So you have to mention that you are running and carrying that bag. And a guy who carried a bag of 7.6 kilograms of litter all the way.
By running,
By running, it's really quite impressive work, I think.
Yeah, I want to come back to it, but I do want to know, Sjoerd, so how did you get into this joining the plugging project?
Yeah, so we play football together. We often went running together as well. And Jeroen introduced his idea, and I'm like, fine, whatever you want to do.
That's easy.
And then I joined for the first time, and it was pretty fun to do, and but with very small bin bags without gloves, so it was quite dirty as well. But then it was fun, and afterwards we felt great. So then I joined for the next time, and then I stayed, and then I think I haven't missed many, if any, runs.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So how did you How did you transform this initial idea to an actual branding with apparel and having
a movement to involve other people,
a club, basically?
Yeah, actually, like Sjoerd said, at the beginning we were just running together. We want to that more people were participating into this movement. Yeah. So more people is more fun. And how did we do it? I think it
more like friends at the beginning.
Friends. Basically, teammates at the beginning. Just we started throwing into WhatsApp groups like join.
Like football people.
Yeah, football people. Yeah. Mostly football people at the beginning, and then friends, and then it got bigger and bigger. And Jeroen became pretty good with this with our Instagram profile, and people start finding us, and people shared what we did, and people start bragging to other friends, or like I do good stuff for the environment. I go plogging with Plogging Utrecht, and they bring friends. So that's how we grew.
And I think the most important thing was to just go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We posted on our Instagram, for example, and every 2 weeks we just were plugging. We start running, and people saw us and thought, okay, because all the time when you do plugging, people say like, oh, great job.
Yeah.
You're doing such a great job. What you doing? I think it's the question they asked us the most.
Yeah.
Like, I think you said this in the very beginning, and it's funny. Like when you first picked up trash, like we are, most of us, we see the trash on the street and we're like, oh, that's it's shitty that it's lying there. But then actually going there, picking it up, it's like what you said, like this looking around and you're feeling this ashamed, which is so stupid because you're doing something good.
I don't think shame is the name, like more like weird maybe.
Yeah, weird. Maybe
because
that's
you're doing something good.
Yeah, you know that you do exactly.
But you don't want to be the weird one picking trash. I don't know. That's maybe how I would feel. I don't know.
Yeah, but at first you might feel like you're being punished or something. Like you see people who've done a crime who have to pick up trash along the side of the road.
Yeah, but community service.
Yeah, community service. But we would just like everybody on the streets compliments us with and shows respect for what we do.
For sure.
Even the kids hang around at supermarkets or the elderly people walking their dogs. It's like everybody. And,
that's a nice thing.
And that takes away that shame or weirdness.
Like there will probably never be a person that goes up to you and be like, what are you doing? Like, stop doing this. Like, you should stop doing this right now. No, that's not going to be like everyone is going to applaud you and going to encourage you and think about what you're doing after leaving you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so how does it work now? Is it every week? How does it work?
No, we still go every twice a month.
Yeah, twice a month.
Twice a month. We do our plugging event.
A special day, or it changes all the time?
Changes all the time. Yeah, it changes all the time.
Often Monday or Tuesday are probably Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Those are the 3 main days.
The usual days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then people, we say, we're gonna meet up there, and then we just start plugging. People come over there. Sometimes it depends a bit on the weather. So when it's a good shiny day, people like to plug, and it's a good day. For example, Monday is actually a really good day. Beginning of the week, let's do something great. And then, people come over, and sometimes we got like 20 people. And we start running, and then after 4 kilometers, because plugging is not that fast.
No, of course,
because you run, left way of the street, right way, in the middle, and then after an hour or something, we turn back, and we weigh our waist, our bags, and then there is a feeling of
accomplishment.
Yeah.
I was about to ask, like, do you then you go then for a time or a certain route? Do you plan this beforehand, or you just say we meet at this spot and then we just go in one direction what we feel like going?
It's a combination. Like we plan. For example, if we know like 20 people are joining, we make 2 or 3 groups. Yeah. And then we plan our routes and so that they're about the same length, so we don't finish at different times. But I think last time we planned a route, but we took a different one at the end, and we finished at a different spot at the end. And it doesn't really matter. Yeah. If we go in one group, or with 2 groups, it's a bit more planning.
Yeah. And then I saw that you're also meeting in different parts of the city, so that you are sometimes like also like plugging different neighborhoods. Is this also something that you do consciously?
Yeah, our goal for due to COVID, we were not able to do every part of Utrecht, but our goal is to plug in every part of Utrecht. And yeah, it's quite challenging because you got the bigger city parts, but also the smaller ones. And we also want to go to Leidse Rijn, for example, but also to Overvecht. And that's a really different part of the city. Yeah.
I guess you see differences in the amount of trash depending on the neighborhoods.
Yes.
Definitely.
Are there
Can we
hot
point
spots?
fingers?
It's like the city center is quite clean because they clean it very regularly.
Yeah.
But if the further you go out, the more trash you have. But too bad for Kanaaleiland and Overvecht, but those are the richest trash roads.
I like how you formulate it.
Richest trash.
Yeah, and for example, when we go to Wilhelmina Park, up there, that's quite a clean neighborhood.
Yeah,
and we also go out to that area to plug up there. But sometimes, it's also fun to just pick up something. So we want to do both.
Yeah. Do you recognize that, for example, I don't know, supermarkets or parks, or like that certain areas are more littered than others? That we as human beings are just more lazy in certain areas than in others?
Yeah, definitely. It's like we usually plan the big roads because near traffic lights is often a lot of trash. But also near supermarkets, near high schools. So
parking
we can,
lots.
we can parking lots definitely. So we can basically predict when we do a ride, we can predict where the trash is.
That's cool.
You develop new skills like this.
It's a weird skill to have.
It's kind of weird. Interesting.
How did it come to professionalize? Because like in the beginning, you just said like you took like a plastic bag by yourself that you had probably at home and you just started running. But now I guess if I would join you, you provide, you were mentioning that you have gloves, you have like special bags.
Yeah. To get back to that subject of doing it with gloves, plugging with gloves. At the beginning, we were plugging with bare hands, and then sometimes you pick up some snack packing of fries or something, and the mayonnaise was still inside, and you get full into that mayonnaise part. I think now when we use gloves, it's more people like it, and it's not that dirty anymore. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
How did we professionalize?
Yeah, I think it just basically grew with the attention we got, and we're like, okay, this is growing, and then we decided to get T-shirts first of all. We got Jeroen got a friend who made us a logo, and then it grew and it grew, and we got in contact with people from all over the country who do plugging. And then it grew. We got requests like, "Can you come to this neighborhood?" And then even a company, and then even a company requested, "Do you do this? Like, can we hire you? Can we ask you to come and plug with us, or organize an event for us
with the company
really cool.
employees?"
with the company. So
that's so cool.
So then we decided like this kind of is becoming more professional, and we grew with it.
Yeah. Did you do this now that you plugged with with the company?
Yeah, we had one assignment, one event where we organized it for a company. And it's something that is, we have two more, like a student group.
Yeah.
They contacted us as well, and another company contacted us right now. So.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
You are also saying that you were starting to weigh your trash. So starting at 2018, probably not 2018 weighing it yet.
No, at the beginning it was just picking up the litter. And since June 2019, we decided, or June 2020, sorry, we decided to weigh our litter just to see what impact we can make.
Yeah.
And till now it's the end of May.
Yeah.
We collected like 820 kilograms of trash.
That's crazy. Do you think you can hit 1,000 before this 1 year? Because you started 2019 in June, and now we are soon having...
No, 2020. Sorry, I said 2020.
Yeah, now, but soon we have June 2021.
Yeah, we have. I think we have 3 runs to go, so those will have to be long ones to get to 1,000. But I think
because what is the average? Again, like depending on the neighborhood and also on how many people are joining. So like it depends on quite some factors. But like, what is the average that you are picking up per round that you're meeting?
I think about average about 2 kilograms per runner. I think maybe a bit less.
No, sometimes, it's hard to say because it depends on so many factors like neighborhood. Sometimes the sporty way we decided to run, when you run faster, sometimes people like to run faster, but then you don't pick up that much fresh. Yeah. Sometimes you want to more like walking style. Yeah, it's also possible. We call it in Dutch plondelen or plogging. Yeah. I think that's the English version. It's also an option. But then you see a cigarette butt, for example, and you see another cigarette butt, another cigarette butt. Yeah. It depends a bit on how the way you like to plug. Yeah.
And the competitiveness of the people who join us, because we went with a decathlon and they were so enthusiastic, so competitive. So they look like they robbed people. They were like bin bags of 7.6 kilograms. So
you went gigantic. With the employees of Decathlon itself?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, because I saw that you met at Decathlon, but I thought you just meant this as meeting spot.
No.
But that's a different one than the company that contacted us. But they just Decathlon Utrecht. They wanted to collaborate with us and. So and that was a very sporty run. That was a very fast one. So that felt like a very good workout as well. So
I also see that you are by now going with a little bakfiets.
Yeah, that was actually a really fun one because we had COVID, right? And in that period we were not able to run in bigger groups. So we had a special challenge. We called it the Lockdown COVID Cleanup. It was in small groups and everybody had to send us pictures so we can post it online and create some movement during COVID. But then we thought, okay, we have to find a way that we can organize an event and still create that feeling of doing something great together, because we also love the being together vibe, having fun. And we thought, okay, let's ask the gemeente Utrecht to get a bakfiets and then cycle and make some kind of a relay. So a route, one part of that relay was like 2 kilometers, sometimes 3. Run apart with a small group of maximum 4 people, and then the other group, and then the other group. And at the end, we plugged like 16 kilometers in Utrecht, and we picked up like 78 kilograms of trash.
Big success,
Just for the non-Dutch and non-local people, bakfiets is a big bike on which you have a big compartment at the front where you can drop stuff.
Cargo bike?
A cargo bike, I think that's the term, yeah. Because I know that some people all over were listening like, what the fuck is a bakfiets?
Yeah, it's a really typical bike. Dutch thing.
Yeah, it's very typical, Electric, I guess. Because otherwise it's quite.
And we didn't know that beforehand, so we didn't know whether it would be electric. And
surprise!
We arrived and it was electric. We were cheering and very happy.
Same.
Otherwise, you have a very, very good workout. Carrying all of that.
So, what is the worst piece of trash that you collected?
And the best?
The best.
I think the worst is definitely yours when you picked up with bare hands the fries with the mayonnaise still inside.
That's the worst.
And I think that's a bad one. I think it's always bad when you pick up like a carton of yogurt and you grab it upside down and then it runs
a splash.
And then you get a splash.
For example, is really bad.
Yeah.
Diaper. Yeah.
I can get that one as well.
But the best, we had a few catches of when we find something really funny, we have a catch of the day. Yeah. But I think the best one we found was we found money once, and we found a wallet once, and then
this is actually quite a nice story because we found a wallet, and it was a full wallet with a lot of money, a lot of cards in it, and we thought, oh wow, it was from an older woman.
Yeah,
she it was on the streets, and we decided we bring it to the police.
No, drinks are on me.
Now go. The fun part was, okay, the police officer, they asked us to leave our phone number.
Yeah.
And the woman, she called us and she heard the story about Plogging Utrecht, and she really liked it and decided to give us some beers to for the end of the running, to drink together. It was so nice.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are always very always happy when they get their keys, their wallet, whatever back.
Yeah,
of course.
So the objective now is picking up all the time lost wallets. So you always have beers, right?
Bring it back. Yeah. And also the 30 euros we found on the street. Yeah, it's hard to find out.
There's nothing
from
you
who
can
it is. And then we decided to buy. We bought. It was really in the beginning when we started plugging. We bought our first T-shirts from Plogging Utrecht from that money.
Good.
So I think that's a good.
That's an investment.
Start.
Yeah.
That was an investment. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a nice description of it.
Yeah.
And you go all year long, like no matter the weather, winter, summer.
Yeah, the two of us will go.
I like how you make it clear. At least we go.
Yeah. So we went. I think it was Easter.
Yeah.
And then we went. It was rainy, but we organized an Easter plug, and the morning it was a bit snowing as well, so we got all kinds of people canceling, I don't feel too well, but the rain doesn't really we go. I think we've canceled twice because the weather was so bad.
It was code yellow and code orange those days.
Okay,
so I think that was
it's accepted.
Yeah. But we will go. Yeah
Nice.
And all year round.
Good commitment. At all time. And I'm curious to that's more of a philosophical maybe question and direction, but do you think, okay, let me come back to this later. Do you have people really non-respectful? Like when you maybe do your runs, do your tours, and you have people really just dropping trash in front of you?
No,
we
haven't. Maybe because already mentioned it, but it is like the older woman on the streets.
Yeah,
she said, "Oh, guys, great job."
Yeah,
but also the guy in the big Mercedes, for example. Sometimes they put down their windows screens and they say "Great job, guys, great job."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So we don't get any.
No, and they do sometimes when we walk by. Can we? Put our can of Red Bull in your bin bag. And we're of course you can. But they never just drop it in front of us. That would be no.
Happened to me twice that I was actually running or biking and saw someone just dropping trash on the floor.
Yeah, that actually happened to me as well.
Both time I was kind of in shock because this is not, okay. Coming from Switzerland, we are not everybody, but we are mostly respectful. We have a lot of more trash cans. So wherever you are in the street, you will always have a trash can nearby, which is a little bit less the case here compared to Switzerland. But I was really born and educated in this way that you keep your trash until you find a place to properly dispose it. And here I saw at least 2 times people really nearby, not giving a fuck and just throwing stuff on the floor. And I was in shock and I was like, I have to say something. By the time I'm trying to make sense of the situation, the person would have left. And who knows if I tried to confront the person and say, hey, don't do this. What's happening? You know? So makes me wonder how people act in Utrecht. I don't know if people have more of this education of really be careful and be thoughtful about this, or I don't know. It's just
it's the same that what I said earlier, that we find near traffic lights, when people just have to wait for green light, and they throw their.
You mean in the car?
Yeah, in the car.
So
they're in the car, and they're just near a traffic light, and they throw their trash out the window, or just parking lots near the bridges, like in Utrecht, where people just sit in their car at night or in the evening drinking and doing whatever. We find a lot of balloons and we find a lot of other stuff that we don't want to know. And so it's, it's weird that people just throw it out like it's nothing.
And I also think it's about when you are in a city, you're not that much aware of some people. I think some people are not that much aware of the nature reserves around it, for example, because trash, for example, today is really windy. When you put trash out of your window, you throw it out, then the wind brings it to another place, for example, into a river or into think about something where it can be, and then people eat it. Do people eat trash? I don't know. Animals do. Yeah, animals.
So
very hungry.
Yeah.
The fries we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
But this education part, you're also taking part doing your runs. Like, did you actually talk about it actively with your people? Oh, the people that join.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but the people joining, they are not the people having the problems because they're already joining.
True. That's true. Yeah,
they are aware. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and we talk about it while running. We talk about what like our experience or what we know about trash, but we try not to start an introduction with a 20-minute lecture on trash because, as you said, those are not the people that throw it. They join us to clean up the city, basically. So.
But at the same time, we wear these green hoodies most of the time, so people see us us from far away. We start running, and then a lot of people ask us what you're doing, and those are not only the people who are aware of the problem. A lot of times they are, for example, last Tuesday there was a guy. We were in a Kanaleiland, and there was a guy on a bike. I think he was 15 years old, and he asked us like, what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And we start not a big lecture, but we say something about our project, and he said, oh, really nice. Maybe I want to join because I don't know that much about litter and our litter problem, but I like to join. So that's also one of the goals from Plogging, that we create some awareness. And
which I think is a good thing, because like, how often does it happen on the street that you talk to another person and just be like, hey, where are you going? What are you doing today? Like, it doesn't happen.
I think
it's a nice way to connect.
Yeah, every run, basically.
No, but, I know with you, but I mean, like when you are just normally out on the road, like if you see someone running, you are never like, hey, you go for a run. Like, what are you doing today? Like 10K, 5K? Tell me about it. No, that's not happening.
No. So that's also one of our goals, is to meet a runner who's doing like a random 10K or something, and then have him or her stop and join us to go plogging.
Oh, wow.
It hasn't happened yet, but it's a dream of us to have someone just stop aiming for a PR and then just join us for a plug.
That's a tough one. I know I would not.
No.
Unless I'm really on a casual run and I'm in a very good mood and it's sunny and I'm like, I have time, let's go. What are you guys doing?
But also when you do a regular run or just a really training run, we also did, we post something on Instagram like a minute to bin it. And I do it a lot of times after a run when I really exercise for like 5 kilometers. And then afterwards,
last minute,
why not, how to say it, cooling down together with this, right? You walk to your home and then pick up just for 1 minute or just that 200 meters, pick everything you can.
1 minute to bin it.
Yeah, like you have very like catchy phrases. Like I love the Corona one, like the minute to bin it. Then you could also, I was thinking, do like kind of a bingo cheat as well. Like
we have that one. Yeah,
you have a trash bingo.
Yeah, we have a trash bingo.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is the most common one? Like the Red Bull can? I can imagine this is a common one.
Red Bull can.
Red Bull cans.
Like energy drinks.
Yeah, basically
in general.
every brand of energy drink is on the street. I think that's basically the
cigarette butts. Everywhere. But they are quite hard when you want to do it in a sporty way. It's quite hard to pick it up.
Small in detail. Yeah.
You got the all the packing material. For example, McDonald's.
Okay.
You see it everywhere. But I'm really happy that the McDonald's decided to put most of their food into paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Paper packaging.
Yep.
That's already better, but it's still everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it need to, when it's decomposed, it is like still 20 years or something. So
yeah. Before we started this podcast, I was researching a little bit online about what other methods there are. And I found out that in Amsterdam, the city has the goal to be waste-free, a clean city by 2050, which I was not aware before. Which is very interesting. And like this goal by itself is quite, you read it and be like, this is cool. This is something nice to inspire to. But is it achievable? And how will they do it? And then I quickly opened the PDF that they had with it. And I did not read all of it in, but it's very interesting to see all the different initiatives that they take from, for example, having more bins. I don't know where we have been, but there was one place, I don't know if it was Amsterdam, where we really had difficulties to find a trash can. So the moment that you can't find a trash can, it's understandable that people then are more likely to just drop it.
Yes, it's also part of the education. I think people have to know, like, you can hold on to your trash for like 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Of course.
But I found
it's your trash.
Yes, I found it very interesting, like all the parts. So it's like having more often cleaning personnel, having more trash bins available, making also very clear what is a trash bin. Where I was like, oh yeah, like I saw these advertising sometimes printed on them, like don't throw your trash away, put it in here, stuff like that. And sometimes they have really funny ones. And it's interesting when you kind of like dive into it. Do you are you also aware of projects in Utrecht that the city center of Utrecht?
I think they do have like a sort of eco-friendly bin bags that they handed us this week actually. Mm-hmm. So they do support initiatives. If you contact them, they will support it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if they have any specific projects going on, like the Amsterdam one.
They also fix like grabbers when you want to walk.
Yeah.
Plannelen, for example, you use most of the time you use a grabber. You can get them at the gemeente Utrecht.
That's
but
great.
At the same time, it is also about education, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
this is about education.
Origin of the problem, like the issue, comes from educating people from the start.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's about education, and on the other hand, it's also about bin bag bins. Bins need to be in more places. But I think for 10 years ago or 15 years ago, the government decided to not place bins everywhere because people need to bring too much trash with them. Yeah. And I agree, that's a problem as well. But at the same time, people throw it away somewhere and not into a bin. Mm-hmm. So it works both ways, right? Education, but also place bin bags or use your own cup. For example, we're using our own cup today.
Yeah,
I think it's better than using a plastic or even a paper one, but because the paper one also had plastic inside. Yeah. You drink water with.
That's for COVID. We have bottles of water for COVID.
Yeah.
It's
that's a good reason.
Yeah. So like with my little research, I found these like the 7 to 5 R's, like depending what websites you are using of waste management, they're calling it. So they were talking about rethink about what you're using, like either using like a reusable mug or like the paper mug. They thought about reusing things. So if you have like a glass bottle, that you could also then make it a candle holder and stuff like this. Repairing stuff. So if something is broken, just fix it and use it or give it a new purpose, because there's also the repurpose part, recycling part, and the last R was the rotting part, like to decomposting. So I found it's so interesting if you just dive into it a little bit deeper. And I think it is anyway a subject that is getting more attention. Mm-hmm. In the last years, that you can see more that people are aware of it, that the government is talking about it, and that it's more like, I don't want to say like a fashion thing, but it kind of like got the interest of more people to
I
actually
think the concern nowadays is more than ever about the planet, basically taking care of the planet. So it's a subject that we talk about a lot more than we did in the past.
And even if you see like our blogging community, like the bloggers in this country, more and more people join in with initiatives like going out for a walk and just grabbing stuff, and there are more and more initiatives, more and more events during the weekends or whatever for cleaning up this country or cleaning up nature or wherever.
Yeah. And also about bringing your own stuff. Right now during Corona, it's quite hard. Yeah, I understand the coffee company doesn't want to bring your own cup because maybe it's not clean enough. I understand right now, but when hopefully this all is finished, this Corona, then I really support that people bring their own coffee cup, for example, to a coffee bar, or also some initiatives like those coffee bars didn't have to buy their plastic cups, for example. But so sometimes the coffee is even cheaper. Yeah. So I really support that kind of thinking. Yeah. And you bring your own one, and you don't have to use a small cup. Yeah. Cup.
But since you started blogging yourself, did you adjust your lifestyle then? Do you see that you adjust your lifestyle then also in other areas?
Yeah, I think, at first I was like, when I started blogging, I was cycling home and then I saw all kinds of trash lying around on the streets. So I became more aware of everything that was happening, and also I started reading more about it and you talk to people when you go blogging. You talk to people about every kind of environmental problem there is. So certainly became more aware of problems there are and try to better my life. I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it then also like going this far that when you have, for example, in the supermarket, the broccoli, you have it one time completely wrapped in foil and one time the biological one not wrapped in anything, that you then actively, like also that the things that you buy, that you actively choose differently, although you can throw it away, of course.
And definitely buy the biological one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And most of it's, you need to read about it, right? You need to get information about it. That's why we talk a lot in the streets to people about the waste problem. But also, sometimes stuff is that packaging, the idea about it, sometimes it's so weird. A few days ago, I bought some mints, right? And the mints were
mint meat or like mint, like peppermint?
Mint.
The chewing gum thing. It was packed into a can.
A plastic container,
A plastic container. And then it was packed into some foil.
Yeah.
And afterwards, 3 of them were also separately packed in foil.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing was packed in foil. 4 times.
Foil, or
4
plastic.
Times foil, plastic. It's so weird,
Yeah, we do see a little bit of change towards packaging, but it's kind of slow. You don't see a lot of super biodegradable packaging or like only cardboard, or you see a difference, but it's not yet to the point that you can say, hey, there is a real change happening.
No, it's a very slow process because it's they will eventually just look at how much does it cost and and will it be profitable for us to do this. So I think 2 supermarkets like last month or so, they quit with plastic wrapping or plastic bags or completely, and I think that's good. And cans will get there's a new law on cans that you get money if you hand it in. So those things are very good, but the process very slow.
Yeah.
And I'm not against packaging. I want to make clear that I'm not against packaging.
No. But we need packaging anyway.
We need it because food, we can store food for a longer period. So it's really important that we have that packaging, because otherwise we have to throw away all that food. But it is about the unnecessary packaging. For example, a banana doesn't need packaging. Yeah. That's their own natural packaging, right? Yeah. And also when you buy, it's also about consuming behavior. I think when you are going to the supermarket, and you want to buy the most beautiful tomato.
Mm-hmm.
But an hour later, you want to make a tomato salad.
Mm-hmm.
So why you want to pick that most beautiful tomato and not the one you maybe that same night will be thrown away? Otherwise, nobody will pick it. So pick maybe the one. Look, what is most realistic to do?
Nice,
yeah. We had a very interesting discussion actually about this at work. Where also one of my colleagues was saying all the plastic, for example, like also the paprikas you get in a plastic bag. And then another colleague was saying what you meant, if that certain food has to be actually in packaging, because otherwise it's it's waste. How do you say this? Like it's turning bad more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain things like a banana that doesn't need to be wrapped, but certain products actually stay longer better. So he was actually arguing that the plastic actually prevents more waste, because otherwise we would have more food waste. And I found this very interesting to think about, that certain plastic or certain packaging is also necessary.
Yeah, because then it turns a little bit like looking old, and if it looks less good,
well, it was
less
not
attractive,
only it's not only about getting old. Like sometimes it's also getting squeezed, and then it's getting soft, and then basically you could not sell it.
You could swap the plastic for paper or another kind of biodegradable plastic or something. I guess.
You could. And I do think we are going already, what you say, it's slow, but there are definitely some changes happening, because you don't get a plastic bag for free anymore in the supermarket. You have to pay for them. They're also in a store, not only supermarkets, but if you would go in a clothing store, if you would get a plastic bag, you would have to pay extra for it. That's why like the law was implied like a few years ago, 1 or 2 years ago. No supermarkets, where you used to have like the tomatoes and you had the plastic bag and you put the tomatoes in a plastic bag. Not happening anymore. You have now paper bags at the supermarket, or you bring they also sell these fabric
nets.
Fabric bags. Then it's still another thing to actually take them to the supermarket, because we have 3 of them at home, and
we
every time
we all do. It's like
we all do.
You forget, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point I want to make about consuming behavior.
Yeah,
because also the issue you mentioned about the paprika, for example, with the plastic foil. It's true. But at the same time, why do we have to produce that many paprikas? So there is for everybody all the time a paprika. And why not produce less paprika so there is enough for everybody? And when there is no paprika and I need to use some zucchini or something, it's fine as well. It's not.
I think people are not ready to accept that.
No, that's true.
Because but we live in a world where we can have everything in almost no time as well. So if we cannot have something,
but then that's what Jeroen is saying. Maybe we have to adjust our buying behavior.
I agree, but I think people are not ready for this.
No, I agree. People are not ready for it. It's a long change.
And I think also, like most vegetables will be consumed way before they go bad. If you so you don't need to have them in plastic. Most vegetables I buy, I will prepare them before they go rotten anyway. So I don't need. Most people won't need the plastic packaging for vegetables, at least.
There's also a movement towards that supermarkets in the end of there's this app. Sadly, I can't actually recall the name, but I saw it with a friend of ours, who is also running with us, that you can sign up for. And then you get before they throw it away in the end of the evening, you can pick it up. And it's kind of like a surprise bag. You never know what is in it.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
You know about this?
I know it.
How is it called? Do you know?
Too Good To Go. I think,
it's true.
Too good to go. It's really, really cool. Yeah, supermarkets. Yeah, normally they throw it away, and you can, for a small amount of money, you get that surprise bag, and sometimes you can cook like for 2-3 days with it. Yeah.
Did you use it once?
I use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use it more times. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw it online, and I thought like that's a really cool initiative, and I want to try it, but then actually. Than doing it. It's the same as with the fabric bags for our tomatoes. Like
you tend to forget them.
Yeah, you tend to forget them. Same as with the coffee cup. I have them at home. I like to get a coffee when I am on my road to my work. I keep forgetting it. One time, however, I did take it, and now sadly it was a Corona situation that she said, like, I'm so sorry, I can't.
Yeah, that's bad. But at the same time, it's about behavior for most of the time, and at the same time I also use sometimes a coffee cup, and I also use but when we can use less of it will be better, right?
Every little change is part of the change. Every little action. So for sure.
Another point I actually also wanted to address is then the throwing away part, which I also find a little bit more difficult since I'm living in a city. Like separating your waste. Now we have glass containers, so they're very clear. We have paper containers, also very clear. But then it's kind of like everything else. I very recently just learned that you can put metal and the milk packaging, these stuff in a separate bag and then put it in a separate container. Like I, for a long time, was putting basically everything else, like paper, glass, everything else in one container.
Yeah, and I think it's more difficult, like living in a city, it's more difficult to separate your waste because it also takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
Because I know where my parents live, they have more room, and they basically every bit of trash has its own delivery date, its own bin. It's all very much separated. But I don't know enough about it, but I think most of the trash will end up in the same place anyway.
Yeah, and it also depends on the place where you live, how the factory is able to separate it up there.
Yeah.
So I know in Utrecht, for example, the plastics are going to be not separate anymore from the rest waste. So it depends also on where you live.
Okay, no, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's an excuse so that people use sometimes to just not give a fuck and put everything in the same trash.
And at the same time, it's also like we do plugging and we don't separate everything afterwards because it's not doable for us.
Yeah, it would take.
You are not doing this? What?
We're not doing this. No, we're not.
We would spend an hour plugging and 3 days separating the trash. We would have to take the bin bags, like the 40 kilograms.
And our thought about it is like, okay, when we also mentioned already the fun part, right? When it needs to be fun and it needs to be not anymore on the streets. That's the first step.
Yeah.
And when we can, when we need to separate it afterwards as well, it's used like, we did it a few times. And then it was like, for 1 hour we were separating it. We put
all the trash
out on the streets. And then, it was like kind of a memory game.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You could do that. Okay, you are a glass person, you are a paper person, you are...
we can make a competition element about it. Maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah, or it's a glass day. So then you leave, you are coming across so many other trash that you would then let lie. But there are definitely options.
Yeah.
But I do agree that the first step of picking up anyway, that's already like a huge improvement. Yeah. So if you do then the extra mile and separate it, you get like loads of kudos from me for that for an hour of separation.
We'll send a picture when we do it.
I think we've done it like last January. I think Paul Way, who's someone an icon of the plugging community, basically challenged us to energy canuary.
Yeah.
And then we went running, and afterwards we did separate everything because we had to count the amount of energy cans we collected.
Yeah.
So people were actually walking by while we were counting energy cans we collected. We collected about 52 in about 2 kilometers at that point. Yeah. So, but at that time we did separate our trash.
But 52 in 2 kilometers? We have a long way to go.
Apparently they don't have enough energy to actually put the can in the trash.
Yeah. Maybe they need to drink another one.
Maybe they need, but then you have to carry 2.
Yeah, that's hard.
Oh, Jesus. Those people. Yeah, but I don't know. It's I see a lot of those energy cans on the street, and all the time it's I don't know. It's sad. Just what I want to say. It's sad. You mentioned that there's some other communities, other club or whatever name we can give to those other
Plogging groups.
Plogging groups in the Netherlands. Is there also organizations like you, like in different cities, or like what do you know about those other communities?
I think there's one in De Beeld. There's one in I think Paul Ways in Haarlem. We have a crew in Amsterdam. So they're basically the crews. They pop up like all over the country,
like with the same concept of gathering people, and
everybody does it in their own way. And I think that's also a really good thing, because you don't have to do it in the way we do.
For sure.
So
the goal is
all with
same.
the same goal, right? Yeah, all cleaning up the area, and most of them are also like, okay, we see more initiatives popping up. Like, okay, we want to have fun together. And for us, it's a really big part of the plugging. Fun.
Yeah, it has together. To be. We have to feel good afterwards and have enjoyed ourselves. Definitely.
Yeah, I can imagine when I first heard about those kind of groups a few years ago. I thought, okay, I get why people would do this, because it's a very nice action for the community in general. But how can you make it fun? Because
sustainable.
For me, and also for me back then, it was really like, how can picking up somebody else's trash could be fun? Because I was also picturing myself as like this little asshole that goes and pick up, well, actually the nice guy that goes and pick up the asshole's trash. And I was always feeling like, okay, I don't want to be that guy. I want that the asshole is like responsible. But you cannot. It doesn't exist that everybody's like suddenly like, okay, we're gonna be now thoughtful. And so I always thought like this, but you have to find a way to make it. I think you guys did it very well to find a way to make it fun, interactive with the community, and turn it into a game, and having this not thinking about the person that actually didn't put the trash in a bin, but thinking about the good that you're doing for the overall community. And I think that's
the environment,
I think it was about 3 weeks ago, we finished one of our runs, and we were actually talking about how hyped up we are at the end of each run. Like for the full time, we're enthusiastic and having fun and feeling good. And afterwards we go home, like we don't always feel when we start like we're going same with working out and running. You have to motivate yourself to do it, but once we're doing it, it's so fun, and we're always very hyped up during the whole time and afterwards as well,
feeling good about yourself and what you did.
And definitely. Also researching this subject. I read an article about a study that a guy studied what happened when people around you picking up litter. What will happen then with the other guy who is that asshole? You mentioned like, okay, he throws away everything. That research said like, okay, when you stop, when people around you start picking up stuff, you are less likely to throw it on the streets.
Yes.
So at the same time, we already spoke about it, when you are in a nice area, where there's no trash, you are not as likely to throw your litter around the streets, right?
Yeah, you're less likely,
Yeah, and in the end, it works also like when you see a lot of people cleaning up, it's less likely to throw it around. You feel more responsible,
It's very unlikely to come across such an asshole that he would throw it on the street where you've just
on your
spent.
face.
Yeah.
No, that's very interesting what you said. I think it's
kind of like a positive spiral. Like the people that are actively participating are aware, and like you, when you biked home after every plug, that you actually see it. Like the people that are now running with you will have the same effect, that they will go around and then maybe still sometimes think like, oh, it's so sad that there's so much, but they are now even aware of it. People that see you that are not participating, but see you, give you the thumb and think like, this is an amazing job. I want to maybe join one time, like the guy in Overvecht. Like it has such a spiraling, but good spiraling effect. It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a sort of like spiraling like a ripple. It grows and grows, and everybody starts, and you start talking about it. Like colleagues come up to me, and they were like, "Oh, I was cycling there was so much trash, and I picked it up." Or they were actually coming to me to talk about it. So it's like,
that's awesome.
So now people come to you to talk about trash only.
Basically,
only talking about trash whole day.
Trash talk.
Trash talk, yeah.
And some people invite us to talk about it on a podcast for about an hour about trash.
Again. So let's talk about birds now. Okay.
Birds.
Okay, cool.
I know nothing about birds. Sorry.
Me neither. Will be a very short podcast.
Yeah, very short. That was it.
What the bird?
All right. Moving on to our favorite 2 questions that we love to ask in this podcast. And the first one would be, if you can give one piece of advice to the listeners, what would it be?
I think it's an easy one, but don't throw away the waste around. Use a bin bag, throw it in the bin. Yeah. It's really
Simple
easy one.
I think it's effective.
I think everybody can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I agree. I totally. That's the one advice we can.
Right.
And join us.
Yeah, we got. I think people forget that. I can imagine this. I'm gonna say again, this asshole thing, throwing up his trash like on the floor in the streets. He doesn't see that there are people cleaning after him, and also he doesn't see. Nobody actually sees if there was no one to pick up the trash ever. How would the streets, the parks, the canal look like? It would be totally awful.
No,
so I think people don't realize all the effort that there is to actually clean and keep the city clean. Whether even just the pavement, like after King's Day and things like this, people are right away afterwards cleaning. And how it is if nobody's there to do this.
Yeah, I think you were talking about the amount of money goes into the city council to just clean up a city.
Yeah, I was reading that Amsterdam is spending, this report was from 2017, so maybe the number is different, but in 2017, in this report, they were saying 11.2 million go every year in Amsterdam are spent on cleaning up the city. Yeah, Amsterdam is not small. Let's say it's also a touristic city. So it's definitely going to be different for other cities, but it's like 11.2 million. Think about that.
And those are only the parts you see.
Yeah.
Because when we do plugging, we also sometimes run a bit more into the woods, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is trash you didn't see.
Yeah.
So
and nobody's sometimes, but less likely somebody is gonna go there and clean like officially the woods.
Yeah.
Like the main trails maybe, but if you go on small trails, it's gonna be there for as long as it's there. Yeah.
Until it's decomposed or never.
Or never. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And the second question that we like to ask all our guests is like, if we could invite someone to this podcast, who would it be? Or is there a certain topic that you would like to hear about in this podcast?
Well, not birds, because we just talked about birds.
No, maybe birds are not the best subject.
That's a very difficult question. No, do you have any?
I really like you made an episode, right, about a runner who runs really long distances.
Yeah,
really
Jake Catterall.
That one. I really like that one. I'm really inspired by people who do stuff different than other people, and for example, go to weird places to run up there, or run in such a weird long distance. For example, a friend of me, she starts running 50K in Switzerland in the mountains.
Oh,
I think it's crazy,
nice
and a nice trail. It's I don't know the name. It's a long distance crazy trail.
UTMB Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc. Maybe
it could be that one. Yeah. And I'm really inspired by people who do it in a different way. Yeah. Like we also want to be somebody who started plugging in. It's maybe a weird thing, picking up trash, but we also, want to be a bit like that.
Yeah.
Makes an impact.
Yeah.
Definitely have.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Nice.
So and if people want to find more about you, there are different ways. You mentioned already you have an Instagram channel, which Jeroen is very busy in growing. So congratulations already on that. And it's Plogging Utrecht. but also you can find anything in the show notes. You have also a Facebook page where you, I guess, communicate your events.
Yeah, true.
But also via Instagram, of course, logically. You have an own website, www.bloggingutrecht.nl.
Or also .com.
Oh, .com?
Yeah. As well.
Okay. I'm sorry. Then
we're so international.
Yeah, we're so, yeah.
And you mentioned just before the podcast that you have now a LinkedIn page as well.
Yeah, it's under construction, but we start with it for the in-company plugs, for example. When maybe some company is interested in some in an in-company plug, yeah, we can
provide you with
we
that.
We can provide it. Yeah,
yeah.
Definitely.
I was about to ask, like, is this because of the requests that you received?
Yeah.
Question: do you do these events then for companies for free, or do you take like a little amount to then invest in gloves and your bags, your T-shirts and stuff like this?
The second one. So we don't do it for free, but like we do the runs twice a month. Those are for free. We will always keep doing them. But if companies want to do like a day of team building, then we just ask. It's a small fee just for us to buy.
To buy stuff,
hoodies,
bags, equipment, so we can have a website. It costs money.
The basic costs, for sure.
The basic cost, and it's not that much money, but it is a small amount. Yeah.
No, we completely get you with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's next for Plogging Utrecht? Do you have any projects for the future, events or concepts, or
now we
some
got
ideas?
The 3rd, the 8th, and the 29th of June, we got our plugs for June.
Okay, cool.
And every 2 weeks, we already mentioned, it's on our website. We got our new events. And we're thinking about a new event, something like the Sweepy Super Saturday, the one with the cargo bike, right? We want to do also in end of summer a bigger event. But we're thinking about it.
And the 10th of July is the Duurzame Week in Utrecht. And we're also on Saturday, people can join us for a run, starting in the Giftpark and ending on Neude. So that's one of our projects we're working on as well.
I think this is also like very nice. If you are running in public spaces, then you're also seen by more people, which is again a good thing for the awareness part.
And that's weird if you're a runner like all of us are. You usually don't go running in public places. You just want to go out of the city and run. Yeah. But for us, public places are...
it's first a hotspot for actually being successful. For picking up trash and then also being seen. Yeah. Completely agree.
Cool. We'll definitely join you guys. We haven't yet, but we will for sure. Yeah, it sounds really nice. Especially because like I said before, I had this idea of like it could be fun, but I didn't really see it. And now seeing what you guys did on Instagram and everything, it really looks fun. And now after today, I'm even more eager to join you guys and see how I can turn this into a game. Yeah,
thank you.
It'll be fun. Yeah,
to collect your own energy cans.
Yes,
and if you beat one another, you have bragging rights like until the next one.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks very much to everyone that was listening to this podcast and or viewing, because we have these podcasts also on YouTube.
Yes.
And all informations of everything we mentioned during that podcast, you can find in the show notes. You can find us on Instagram.
And on Patreon, we want to give a big shout out to our 4 supporters on Patreon, which are Alex, Tufik, Tim and Malte. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for supporting the show. We'll see you guys around in Utrecht for a run or trash picking.
Definitely.
And wishing you the best for the future, and we'll stay in touch.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
It was fun.
Bye, everybody.